Okay, so if I turn the key on, we should see some activity. Oh, put the right key in the ignition, that might help. So we do have a tail light, oil light, neutral light. Have some of the dash working, lights in the dash. We got 22,000 miles on this bike. Let's see, do we have blinkers? I think I had blinkers working. There it goes. So we got front blinker, rear blinker. The switch will need to be cleaned up. Let's see if we get the left blinker to work. I don't think I ever got that one to work earlier. Nothing on the left. But as I keep playing with the switch, we get horn works. And I did the high beam works. And as I was playing with the switch, it looked like the low beam came on. So we'll have to clean the switch on the handlebars. We got a tail light. And let's see. I think if I remember right, the front, since there's no I think I did see I think the brake light is on, and with no hydraulic fluid in the brakes, I think switches are just stuck. Starter works. So that's good. And let's see, what else? Let's pull the plugs and then we'll see if we got spark. Okay, we're going to check for spark in this cylinder, the rear cylinder here on this side of the bike. Turn the key on. You got spark in the front. And this rear one, nothing. So let's change this spark plug with a new one, see what we get. Okay, so I had already checked this and it seemed that plug was fouled out, so let's see what we have with the new one. Alright, we're going to try this again. I believe we got spark. There we go. Alright, so we got spark on the left side, both front and back. Let's check that old spark plug again, just to see if I just didn't have it meeting, grounding out good enough with all this paint on this engine and the rust there. I don't think that plug is any good. So I had already swapped them around earlier and saw this problem. There's good spark with that. Just, I don't think I'm getting a good enough connection on this new one. This is the front now. Okay, I'm going to call that good. Let's move over to the other side. So we're going to pull these plugs out. I already loosened them up earlier. Pull the front. All right, let's see what we get with this one. Looks good. Let's see what we get with this one. Looks good. So we got spark on all four cylinders sparking. Now the next thing we need to do is we're going to check compression, but I need to get the carburetors in first, just so it is checked in the right manner with carbs on and throttle open. So let me discuss one other thing about this bike. Okay, so you see all these tubes here. That is the California EVAP system. You got the Smog canister down there. So we're going to remove all that stuff. So this hose, remove this. This is your carb sink port. So we're going to put the screw back in here, just like this one here. And we are going to remove this tubing. One of these lines will go to the gas tank vent line, which is up here. And then we're going to remove the smog canister. And let me move over to the other side. And this smog canister is connected to the frame under here. So we're going to cap that, and we'll remove this canister because the carbs I have are not the California carburetors. When I had this bike had the original California carburetors, but when the person I bought it, the seller I bought it from, he attempted to clean the carburetors and ran into some issues. So he bought a set on eBay that wasn't set up for the California model. So we're just going to cap off ports on the carburetors. I'll show that later. And we are going to hook these up without all this smog canisters. I don't live in California, so shouldn't be a problem. Also, one other thing I did was I cleaned the area where the carburetors will sit down in here, where I won't be able to really get there once I get the carburetors on. So I cleaned that area. Also, one thing I did, which I will show, is I used some Evapo-Rust Gel on that bolt. You see the rusty bolt there. So I'll show the can of gel as well. But that gel sat there for a little while and removed that rust. Still got a little bit to work on there. Also removed some rust right here on this piece and in here. So it did a good job, and there'll be more rust to get off, but overall cleaned up a little pretty nicely right there. So I cleaned up that old spark plug a little bit, and let's see what we get. I think we get a little bit more activity now. Just a little bit. So I don't know, I'll probably use the new ones. So one more thing I wanted to show is this gel, Evapo-Rust. It's a little pasty, so I started to do this one a little bit, but it needs more work on it. I started to do this bolt here, and I'll do some more on it, more work on it, but it does work. It just takes time, patience. Let it sit and do its thing, and I'll show putting that on at some point in the future. But we're going to try to get these carburetors on and see if we can get this thing started. So here's our carburetor block. One of the ports I need to cap is right there, and I don't see another one, but this has all been cleaned. He sent this off through a place in eBay. I'll put the link down below. Looks nice, ready to go. Alright, so let's remove these lines, get them out of the way. Which, of course, they're stiff. Alright, so since all these tubes are stiff, we'll just remove this. We don't need it. use the washer, little crush washer, sealing washer, and I have a screw to put in there. Alright, so let's put the carb sink screw back on, and we'll sink the carbs at a later time once we get them all in place. And we need to remove those covers. Remove these. We're on there for protecting the cylinders, which I'm glad that was on there because it was sitting outside in the elements. And we'll do the other side. Alright, I have the new boots on. They are brand new, so they're not stiff. All these fasteners are loose. And there is a trick to getting these carbs on with the strap. We'll see if we need that trick. But we should be ready to get these carbs on next. Alright, so we removed the gas tank to get better access to everything. And we need to figure out these cables. This is the choke, I'm pretty sure. There we are. That's choke. Then one of these is the one goes down and then the other goes up for the accelerator. So one opens it up and one helps push it back down. So we're going to get that hooked up and see where we are. Okay, so we got the choke, we got the accelerators, cables, both of them hooked on. Choke is working. And the accelerator is working. It's a little stiff, doesn't spring back like I want it to, but we'll work on the cables once we get all the once we get the carbs in. So next we're going to slide the carbs in this area and see if we can't pop them in. I think I'll turn these around on the top. Now one thing I need to do, I think, is tighten up these throttle things a little bit. So let me put a wrench on that just so I don't have to worry about it later. Okay, we'll tighten those up. Let's try this again. Let's get this out of the way. All right, let's go down a little bit. So close. Okay, we just made this a whole lot easier by removing the radiator. So it was half off anyway. So we just removed that. And let's see how this works. Right out of the way. And we should at least be able to get these in position here. Okay. That's one half the battle. Let's see what we get. With these new boots, I'm hoping that we won't have to do any tricks here. That we'll see. So, yeah. You should be able to see how offline that is. So if we run a strap around this, I've seen people strap it backwards and then push down. So we're going to give that a shot. All right, so what I'm attempting to do here, put a strap here, not caught on any mechanisms, pull back. These are not on top or bottom all the way. Same on this side. We're going to pull back and down. And let's see if that gets them on. So it looks like we have the number 2 cylinders on there. Number 1 cylinders on, seated properly and looking good. Number 4 cylinder and number 3 cylinder are seated as well. It took some finagling and wiggling and jiggling, but we got them on there. Okay, we're going to do a compression test. This is cylinder number 1. And it looks like we're only reading about 100. This engine should be at plus 150, so 100 is not great. And try again, see what we get. It's not looking that great on cylinder 1. So this is cylinder number 3 on the right hand side. And we're jumping up almost close to 200, which is good for this engine. Cylinder number 4, right front cylinder. And we're in the 150 range, be pretty decent. Cylinder number 2 on the left hand front side. The battery was getting low here, but the reading was still in the 50 range when I tried it the first time. So that cylinder definitely has some ring issues.